Hey guys, welcome to question FM153 of the Further Maths Fortify Study Guide. Now, this question reads, Will has to wax 1,200 centimeters squared of his back. Let BN be the area in square centimeters of back left to wax after using N wax strips. The equation Bn plus 1 equals 0.9 Bn plus W can be used to calculate the area of back left to wax after N strips. Treat W as a constant. After using 2 strips, Will still has 820 centimeters of back left to wax. After using 3 strips, the area of back in square centimeters left to wax will be closest to what? Now, personally, I love this question because I think it really tests your knowledge of recurrence relations and just how they work and how they integrate with real-world problems. So that, personally, it's a favorite of mine. Hopefully a few of you are getting really stuck on a question like this because this is kind of as hard as it gets with recurrence relations, and once you're able to see how all of this works, that puts you in a really good position for any SACs or exams that you have coming up. It just means if you can understand a question like this, there's not much that can be thrown at you that's going to curve you. Cool. So the first little problem we've got to address here is that we're not given a value of B0 or B1. We're given a value of B2 and B0, but not actually explicitly. So this first sentence says Will has to wax 1,200 centimeters of his back. Let Bn be the area in square centimeters of back left to wax after using N wax strips. Well, we're told there that he has 1,200 centimeters of his back to wax. So before he's used any waxing strips, or N is 0 waxing strips, we're told that he has 1,200 centimeters that need to go. So our value for B0 is 1,200. We're not explicitly told that. It requires actually understanding how these recurrence relations work when it comes to worded questions, which is the first part about why I like this question. From here, it gets a little trickier because we need to now work backwards. There's a few things we've got to figure out. We've got to figure out what this constant is, and then we've also got to figure out the area of Will's back that's left to wax after 3 strips have been used. This is a little tricky because what we have been given sort of down the line is that B2, or after Will, where's the sentence here? After using 2 strips, Will still has 820 centimeters of back left to wax. So we know that our value of B2 is going to be 820, but that's kind of all we know at the moment. So with a question like this, we've got a value of B0, we've got a value of B2, we've got the actual recurrence relation here. A lot of you will probably be thinking to yourself, yeah, but I don't have a value of B1, so I can't really find this value of W. Let me show you how we'd go through a question like this. So first of all, in order to calculate B1 according to this recurrence relation, B1 is going to be equal to 0.9 times B0 plus W. Now we know that our value of B0 is 1,200, so this B1 is going to be equal to 0.9 times 1,200 plus W. This on its own isn't super useful, but when we go to the next step, which is we go to the next step of our recurrence relation, we say that B2 is going to be equal to 0.9 times B1. Now we can take this value of B1 and plug it in here. So 0.9, this is where it gets a little confusing for anyone who hasn't done anything like this before. This is 0.9 times B1. Now B1 in this sequence up here had a value of 0.9 times 1,200 plus W. We don't know what W is yet. So B2 is going to be equal to 0.9 times B1 plus W. The reason this is handy will come apparent in a second. Now, we also know that B2 is equal to 820. So we know that 820 equals 0.9 times 0.9 times 1,200 plus W plus W. This is handy because we can whack this into our calculator using the solve function and solve for W. So I should add a little. That's exactly what you'll put into your calculator. Put in a comma W, telling the solve function to solve for W. And if you plug that into your calculator, you're going to get W equals negative 80. So now our recurrence relation becomes Bn plus 1 equals 0.9 Bn minus 80. We have a value of B2, which is 820, so we can move immediately on to finding B3 from here and find out the answer to our question, which is after using 3 wax strips, the area of back in square centimeters left to wax will be closest to what? B3 equals 0.9 times 820 minus 80. Plugging this into a calculator, you're going to get an answer of 658, which is closest to our option for 660, option C. Guys, this is a confusing one. If you have any questions on how to do this, or wherever you get stumped, drop them in the comments below. Be happy to get back to you. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video.